People often ask me, what's the deal with a raw food diet? Why eat a raw food diet? You know, there's so much amazing, delicious food out there. Why put yourself through that amount of suffering? And first of all, I must agree and say, yes, I love eating. My entire life, that has been the love of my life. I mean, I can imagine a lot of things giving up in my life, but not good food. I love eating. I truly enjoy it. It's a passion of mine. And the idea of a raw food diet just seems miserable to me. Like, why would you just eat fruits and vegetables when you can eat everything else? And I wanted to share with you a little bit of my background with a raw food diet and why I'm working so hard to push myself in that direction. When I was studying my undergraduate degree, there was a girl at the table next to me. We took a class called Brain and Behavior, and there was 2 people per table, and the girl next to me would sit on my right, and she would put her hand sort of on the table while she was taking notes. And I remember looking at her and thinking, God, her nails shine. Her nails absolutely shine, and her hair shines, and her face glows. And I thought, God, that's just beautiful, and I'd never seen in my life someone shine like that. So I went to her and I naively said, what products do you use? I want to buy those products as well. And she said, I'll tell you my story one day, when we've got time, because it was during class. So like a few weeks later, she says, I want to tell you my story. And she said when she was 17, she was in high school, super active. She was on the tennis team. And one day she went to sleep and she slept for 20 hours. And she woke up and was able to stay awake for about 3 hours and then fell back asleep for another 20 hours. And she went to all the doctors and they gave her a whole bunch of steroids and medications and drugs and said, this is chronic fatigue syndrome, and the best we could do for you is give you a whole bunch of drugs that might allow you to be awake for 5 or 6 hours, and that's all we can do for you. We're sorry. And for a 17-year-old at the prime of her life, it ruined her life. So she went to a clinic. It was called Hippocrates or Hippocratic. I don't remember, probably Hippocrates, clinic in Florida. And she said that that's an all raw food place. They drink wheatgrass shakes and eat raw foods and do meditation. And she said she left there, I think 6 weeks later, totally cured and with more vitality and energy than she had ever had in her life. And I thought right then, I said, wow, one day I'm going to get to raw food because that's awesome. And then I dropped it, and trying to think how many years ago. It was probably 3 years ago. Kobe went through a stage at work that he was very, very stressed out, lots of stress, office politics, nasty things going on. His job was being threatened, and he was trying to produce and do everything he needed to do to hold on to his job. He was gaining weight. He felt very excluded from our family. He was commuting for 2.5 hours a day. Kind of crazy. And in that time, he had like 3 pseudo heart attacks. We're not sure if they were minor heart attacks or almost heart attacks, but he had gone to the emergency room in an ambulance twice, and once in a supermarket he collapsed. He felt just this heat flash, and he just fainted practically. And we thought, okay, we can't do this anymore. So he signed up in Israel. There's a clinic called Alumot, which is like a health farm, and the owners of the Alumot farm are dietitians who had studied for many, many years at the clinic in Florida. So Kobe was there for 8 days or 9 days, and he came back much thinner, much healthier, glowing. I spent a weekend with him, and I did a detoxification. I did a juice fast, and I thought, this is really what we want. No, we spent 2 months, after that, totally doing a raw food diet, and saw enormous improvements in our health. I've always had some digestive issues. Actually, since my last daughter was born, they were healed, and we slept better, and we were had more energy. And then since then, I've met many people. I'll give you 2 examples. A friend of mine with multiple sclerosis, she had it pretty badly, and she started taking steroids and basically stopped functioning. Her muscles in different parts of her body were attacked, and she became another statistic. And then she thought, I don't want to live this way. I've got 2 young boys who she was homeschooling at the time. I don't want to live this way. So she went online and started doing research. She moved to an all raw food diet. and napping in the afternoons reduced her workload to half, and she is symptom-free. Pretty amazing story. She's actually a well-known children's author in Israel. So she cured herself of multiple sclerosis. And I have another friend, just one more example, who had very serious asthma and allergies. As a child, she was miserable. She couldn't breathe. And she went to many, many doctors around Israel, and no one could help her. And then there was this one weirdo quack doctor who they said he has this natural solution that some people say might work. And she went, and he put her as a child on a raw food diet, and she ended up being symptom-free within 8 weeks. And that just gives me goosebumps. It's just more proof for me that our bodies can heal themselves. Our bodies can absolutely rid ourselves of any dis-ease if we give it what it needs. And if we keep feeding it toxins that it has to spend all of its energy filtering out and cleaning out, then it can't do its full immune function that it should. But if we give our body the food that it most easily can digest and handle, then our body is free to clean out and take care of the things that are harming him. So I'm walking toward a raw food diet. I'm not there 100%, and I don't beat myself up. I'm not, terribly mad at myself when I don't stand behind it. But it comes and goes in my life. Today I'm eating, I would say 90% raw food. 2 meals a day are definitely raw food, just salad, maybe some veggies. Another thing that I really love, and I wanted actually to show you, it's not raw food, it's beets. I just boil them. They're so delicious. Very light, very good for your body. 2 meals a day I'm eating salads. 1 meal a day I might have some cooked food or bread. And on my better days, I'll eat raw food all day. Sometimes I'll snack on a whole grain cracker or things like that. I'm very lucky because I love fruits and vegetables. I absolutely adore them. And I don't feel like I'm suffering. If we're invited out to dinner, or if we go out to a restaurant, or if there's something special going on, I will eat and enjoy every bite of it. But the primary basis of my diet is raw food. And I wanted to share with you a little bit about that background and hope that you can join me and strengthen me in my raw food journey, because it's not always easy. Sometimes I'm really tempted and I want to eat everything and enjoy every bite of my life. Because I really love eating. And other times I say, this is great, my body is thriving, and it is. My body is thriving with a raw food diet.